Happy Halloween.
So here's the thing.
I was supposed to do a Halloween movie night with my best friend, but she has bigger fish to fry, which is fine. So I'm just gonna do a mukbang while we tell scary stories. Ghosts and ghouls. This is 11 of the scariest ghost stories from Reddit. So that's what we're about to do. We're about to eat. Let me explain the food situation because it's very delicate. We got wings from Taco Mac. I'm telling y'all, wings from Taco Mac are different. 10 piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's supposed to be half and half split. Half honey chipotle. I'm telling y'all, the honey chipotle smack. I got half honey chipotle, half garlic parmesan. But they gave me 6 garlic parmesan and 4 honey chipotle. I'm gonna let it slide. Because first I thought they gave me 9 wings. Then, large pizza from Papa John's. Now this is where it gets very delicate because I'm gonna tell y'all how to eat. One thing you can trust me with is food. I would never steer you wrong. Anybody who knows me knows I don't play about food. It's like I have 2 different ranches. You see, here's the Taco Mac ranch, and this is some Hidden Valley ranch that I put in a ramekin that I stole from Chipotle. You can only use Taco Mac ranch with wings or Taco Mac wings. I'm dipping my pizza in ranch, but I can't dip it in the Taco Mac ranch because I'm gonna say this, Taco Mac is #1 for ranch, period. If you haven't tried it, try it. It's house made, it's literally so good. I can't waste that on the pizza. The pizza can get the basic ranch. The wings have to have the Taco Mac ranch. Like it just has to. That's how you gotta dress up your pizza first, and then we're gonna get into the scary stories because it's supposed to be interesting. This is how you get maximum enjoyment from your pizza. Hot sauce, I'm telling you. If you don't like spicy, grow up. So you put some hot sauce, you don't overdo it. That's enough. Hot sauce, dip it in the ranch. You don't need too much. I'm telling you, it doesn't get any better than that. Oh my gosh, hold on. I literally did not eat dinner, kind of. I was eating snacks and I was eating little pieces of the dinner, but I wanted to save my appetite for this. The wings. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm telling you, this ranch is next level. Like, extra crispy, all flats. Remember, honey chipotle, and I'm just now trying the garlic parmesan for the first time. You're kidding. Okay. Okay, first story, it's titled, It Wasn't a Little Girl. I'm not gonna be dramatic, okay? I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be dramatic. Starts off the exposition. I was camping with my husband and his family at a small remote lake in New Mexico. That's the first mistake. Remote, don't do nothing remote at night. Don't do nothing remote at night. Okay. It says there were about 10 people in our group and another group of 6 people in the next campsite. That's a little bit safer. It was nighttime and both groups were doing typical activities, making s'mores, having a few drinks, and telling stories. We all heard what sounded like a little girl yelling out for help. Also, comment below, like, do y'all believe stuff like this? Because I do. Like, the spiritual world is very real, and it's also very much so nothing to play with. So don't be yanking out Ouija boards and doing crazy stuff because it exists, and it's not funny nor a game. Neither group had children with them, but we were all positive we were hearing a little girl and decided to search the area. We heard the noises from together. Mistake number 2. Don't search. But you know what? Okay. I kind of get it because on one hand, you don't know. It could be a little girl in need for real. Like, you don't know if like somebody's kid got lost or like you just don't know what happened. So of course they're gonna look. I can understand that. There was a field behind our campsites and we all saw a very tall, pure white figure standing maybe 100 feet away from us in the field making the noises. We all agreed this thing looked maybe 6 feet tall, skinny, and white as can be. We made our way closer to investigate, but whatever it was that we saw started backing off as we got closer and it disappeared into the trees. All night we continued to hear a little girl calling for help as we tried to sleep. But my thing is like, they're talking about ghosts. That sounds like an alien to me. Tall? No. Because usually like aliens, when people say tall, they mean like giant. Like not 6 feet, 10 feet. So, but honestly, that's not that scary. Like I want it to be chilled to the bone. Like it's not really chilling me to the bone. That one was okay. Don't let me be disappointed. Slice number 2. Get the hot sauce. Don't use a super spicy. This is red hot. It's basically buffalo sauce. You don't need a super spicy sauce, a super spicy hot sauce for when you put it on your pizza. It's literally just for flavor. Like, y'all, they did give me 9 wings. What? This next one is called The Walking Dead, and I'm already seeing something about psychiatric nurse. So I'm just feeling it's giving American Horror Story Asylum. I'm a psychiatric nurse, and early in my career, I worked at a residential mental health facility. One of our residents was an elective mute, which means that he couldn't talk, but there were no medical reasons as to why. He had spoken earlier in his life and in fact seemed quite normal back then, with the exception of being close to 7 feet tall. He'd been raised in the Deep South and joined the military when he was 19. Let me tell you something about hearing Deep South and military. Threatening to me. It's giving very much so the South will rise again. And I don't know. He was raised in the Deep South and joined the military when he was 19, but one night he vanished. He was declared AWOL, and eventually he was declared missing and dead. I want to know what happened to him during that time. Same way I need to know what happened to Amelia Earhart, and I need to know about the 10 other mysteries that I usually want to know about, because things don't just disappear. Things don't just unhappen. Things like 10 years later, a 7-foot tall man walked into a VA hospital emergency room in my part of the Midwest and said to the receptionist, "My name is Marion Duchesne." This is not the real name, it says. "And I've been dead for 10 years. Those were the last words he ever spoke. Something happened. You can't tell me something not sitting right about those are the last words he ever spoke. Something happened. He was covered with dust and he was wearing the same clothes he'd been reported to be wearing the night he vanished. His social security number had not been used and he had no identification on his person. However, they were able to identify him, I guess via fingerprints. The family was notified, but they said they had already grieved their lost man, and whomever was claiming to be him simply could not be. They demanded not to be contacted again. Imagine how sad. Like, this next part is about to get me good. It says, Marion paced all day, every day, moving his mouth that looked like talking or muttering, but no sound came out. Maybe it's just me. He was talking to something, some being. I don't care what you say. I don't know what the being was, but he was not talking to himself. He had an unnerving habit of throwing his head back. Oh no. Okay. My mom was like,
"You're really gonna read scary stories at night? You're not gonna be able to go to bed. You know how scary you are."
I'm like,
why would I be scared? Why would I be scared?
I've told y'all this before, like, I'm scary about stuff, but usually reading something doesn't make me scared. But I'm telling y'all, if I saw this, because I'm a visual person, if I saw this right now, I would not be able to go to bed. He had an unnerving habit of throwing his head back with his mouth wide open as if he were laughing heartily, but not even a breath could be heard. He literally was going like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to mock. He literally was going like this. Oh, it's scary. I'm going like this. Imagine looking at it. Y'all, I'm sick. It's still so good. But my thing is, who making him laugh? Whoever he was talking and muttering to, walking back and forth, that's who's making him laugh. My thing is, how the thing gonna be funny? What's funny? The person says, if I talked to him, he appeared to listen, periodically throwing his head back in that laughter mimicking way of his. Various medications were tried, but they did not affect him either positively or negatively. Occupational therapy did nothing because Marion would just grin. Oh, y'all, that makes me feel sick. Grin. And y'all, I'm in the basement of the house and it's dark. Oh, and unless told to stay put, he'd get up and start pacing again. Y'all, I'm telling you, something is there. It says, on my last day at that job, the last thing I saw was Marion pacing in the parking lot, throwing his head back to laugh. Later, I wondered if all along I'd been dealing with a ghost. All these years later, I still don't know. I've had time to think about it, and this is my theory. Hear me out. They said that he had been dead for 10 years, right? I believe he's dead. I believe he stayed dead. And I think whatever came back was not him. Wherever something got him and he's gone and he's dead and they sent something else back, some other being. Think about it this way. Like he said his last words and then he stopped talking. That wasn't him. That was something else. She's not going to explain why she thinks that he's the ghost. This one is called The Unrest Stop. I was driving late across country with my mom and sister when I was 16 and my sister was 20. It was late, but we were well rested and alert. We were driving along an interstate and needed gas and a bathroom break, So we stopped at the only rest stop in 200 miles. So that's another mistake. And I get it, you have to use the bathroom, but you're telling me 200-mile radius. And that's the only one? Recipe for disaster. They put that there for a setup. There was a van full of teenagers on a road trip at the gas station, as well as a small gray car parked at the pump in front of us with 2 young men standing still outside of it. Okay, so there are people there. I could see why you would feel comfortable stopping there. Cool. When we got there, everything felt wrong. Leave! Oh my gosh. Let me tell y'all this. If there's nothing that you ever take from me, if I never go anywhere else, if I never post another video, if you go somewhere and it feels wrong, leave. You're telling me you got there and everything felt wrong, and that's not the end of the story? We've been on the road for days and seen many rest stops at night and had never been afraid until then. All signs point to get out. My mom and sister went inside and I stayed in the car. Don't split up. Every scary movie will tell you don't split up. If they're going inside, you go inside too. I don't care. Don't be by yourself at a place that you just said felt wrong. Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. I heard the teenagers say they were creeped out and couldn't get the pump to work, and they left in a hurry. I was watching the car in front of us, and the 2 men had not moved at all, not an inch. They weren't talking, they weren't on phones, they were just standing there still as stone. So they were literally like this. Third slice. This may be third and last because I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting kind of full. Y'all, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Lightly, ever so gently, tap the like button and tap the subscribe button so that I never have to work again and I can just do this. I told my friend the other day, I said, well, I told everybody this kind of. I don't want to get paid to do anything other than be myself. Anyway, it says, my sister and mom came running back out to the car, and when they got in, the 2 men slowly turned to look at us while not moving or pivoting the rest of their bodies. And I swear we all saw the same thing. They had eyes dark as pitch and empty, truly empty, not black, not reflecting any light at all, just a void. We sped out of there and didn't stop until we were in the next city. The worst thing about the entire experience, we couldn't find the place on any map. We knew exactly which spot on the interstate to look, and we couldn't find it on Google Maps or any other paper map we had. We even asked locals about the creepy gas station out on that stretch of the road and only got confused looks. We've traveled on that interstate since, and there is no rest stop. One, I believe in other worlds, period. I don't care. Somehow, some way, some of us just get the opportunity. It's not really an opportunity because I wouldn't take it. Not jumping like a dimension, but like think of it in that way, like maybe shifting realities. Oh my gosh. Somehow people are able to do that or just fall into like a trap where they do that. And that's what that is. You cannot tell me, how you gonna tell me, for people who don't believe that there's a spiritual world, what's your explanation for people who went to a gas station that don't exist? This one is titled, It Came For Us in the Graveyard. And see, the last one, I was like, oh, it felt wrong, get out. What are y'all doing in a graveyard? It says, we were driving my friend's really old beat up Subaru through a massive graveyard. We stopped and walked down a hill and came across a little pond. There was someone sitting on a rock on the other side of the pond. Leave. The figure was all black and we couldn't make out any features other than the fact that it looked like a man who was wearing some old style top hat. Oh my gosh, we stupidly waved and shouted hi. It said he didn't show any acknowledgement and continued sitting still on the rock. All of a sudden, he jumped to his feet, started running to us. Y'all don't have to believe what it says. Started running to us on the water and vanished in thin water about halfway on the pond. My friends and I screamed and ran back to the car. The car wouldn't start, and we heard something banging on the back of the car. It wasn't a constant bang, but every few seconds or so we'd hear it. Nobody was outside from what we could see in the dark, but something was making a noise on the car. I opened my phone and started dialing my mom to come give us a boost, but I had no service. None of us had any cell service. The next 30 minutes were spent trying to get her car started. No banging was heard afterwards, but we felt this heavy pressure around us. That's the presence of the thing. Finally, the car started and she hit the pedal to the metal. Look, pedal to the metal and head out. We sped out of the graveyard so fast, immediately crossing the gates. All of our phones regained cell service. One thing I know for certain is that something or someone was out there and it was not an animal or human. I don't know. I'm telling you, I could not be in these situations. I would be crying and throwing up. You know what's funny? I wouldn't be crying and throwing up because I wouldn't be there. One night when I was 10, I was woken up by my bedroom door opening, followed by someone sitting on my bed. Ew. I felt my leg grazed and the bed sink under a person's weight. It's just mom, I thought, and I opened my eyes. It was not my mom. I found an eyeless boy. He had black empty sockets. I'm wondering if that's a theme, and that makes me believe this anymore because remember the gas station story, they said whoever was telling the story, I think it was a girl, said that the people had black empty eyes. He was about my age, sitting at the foot of my bed. He extended his hand and in it was a little box. I was startled but reached out. He pulled back, I reached again and said, "Give it." Why? Tell it to get out, you're not scared? Then I blinked and when I reopened my eyes, he was gone, but I could still see the imprint where he'd sat on my bed. Fast forward 5 years, my girlfriend came over to do homework. After she finished, she took a nap while she waited for her parents. When they arrived, I tried waking her up. She opened her eyes suddenly, looking up at a corner where the wall met the ceiling. She pointed there and went back to sleep. I shook her again. She came to full consciousness and I explained what she'd done. She looked haunted. Up on the wall, I saw a little boy with no eyes. He was there in a Spider-Man pose. Staring at me. I freaked out and told her my story about the same kid. Fast forward another 5 years, I was with the same girlfriend and we had a 2-year-old. We were living in my parents' house in my own room. My daughter started waking up at the same time every night and she'd talk. After a while, I noticed she had almost the same conversation every night. I playfully asked her once whom she was talking to. She said, "It's a little boy. He's nice. He's lost and looking for his mommy." My daughter's nightly conversations continued until we got our own place later that year. How you and the girlfriend and the kid all seeing the same thing? Stuff like that, like, I don't know. Like, it's the end of the video, guys. I'm being quieter because my mom told me that she sent me a text and said that she heard me laughing. Anyway, like this video if you want to, share this video if you want to, subscribe if you want to, comment things if you like to see for fun, for not fun. I don't know, you guys, like, literally comment things that you want to see because I'm running out of ideas. But anyways, I put out new videos every Friday. And happy Halloween!